Yep.
What inspired you to write Like, Value, Trust, and why now?
I decided to write Like, Value, Trust now just because I know time is not promised tomorrow. Last year I had an incident where I ended up in the hospital with some blood clots, so it just reminded me that the day is not promised. My neighbor just passed away, and it's speed to lead, speed to action. So just wanted to share my light, share my testimony, and show people why with Like, Value, Trust, they can have better authentic relationships, better marriages, better friendships, better sales techniques, and just live a better life.
You talk about character-based relationships versus transactional ones. What is the biggest difference?
When you're thinking about the character of you and your client, you want to formulate a connection. When it's transactional, you're thinking about the commission, you're thinking about the outcome, and your emotions are tied to that. And so your energy, you have commission breath, and it's just unauthentic, and people can feel that. When you're worried about the connection, and that's your emphasis, no matter what the outcome is, you have confidence knowing that you're putting forth your best effort, you're there to connect and provide value, therefore gaining their like, their value, and their trust.
What does liking someone in a sales setting really mean to you?
Liking someone in a sales setting just means that they have manners, they can connect with me, they know about where I'm from, my culture, there's a common ground, whether it's a sports team, a food, a dish, they smell nice, clean haircut. So you have to find something that will get brownie points initially, sometimes lead with a compliment. There's different things you can do to maximize your likability. Not everyone can like you, and I emphasize that in the book. This is not get rich overnight. This is not an automatic thing, another cookie cutter, copy and paste type of thing. It's just, hey, how can I like myself the most, shine my light, and maximize the possibility of connecting with someone.
How do you define value in a world where everyone is trying to sell something?
Value has to be what the person's asking for. And so when everyone's trying to sell something, trying to push their agenda, trying to get out tech specs, or just trying to sell you on something with commission breath, value is basically what I'm asking for as a customer. So I want you to listen to me. I'm going to tell you my motivation. I'll tell you my pain point. I'll tell you my timeline. If you actually listen and we sit there and connect, and you're not just trying to sell me on something, get me to pay a commission. So if you focus on more so me and the value that I'm telling you, if you listen with 2 ears and 1 mouth, I talk about those principles a lot in this book. Be slow to speak, slow to anger, have patience, esteem others highly above you. That way you can actually be there for the person, be present, and set your mind on things above, not just money here on the earth, and you can't do that.
How do you define value in a world where everyone is, How has trust made or broken deals for you personally?
Yeah, so without trust, you can't close a deal. If someone thinks you're shady, you're not gonna make any money. Same thing with a relationship. If she doesn't trust you, she's not gonna marry you. Same thing vice versa. If you're at the bank, you don't trust that person, you're not gonna let someone swipe your card. So trust is how you solidify the deal, that's how you get paid, but it's also how you connect and solidify a relationship, especially if you want long-term clients, repeat customers. So a time where I broke trust or I didn't have trust, I had a customer come into the car dealership. I didn't know at the time, but the bottom of the car was rusted out. And so when her husband saw the car that she purchased, he was upset. Made her return the car. They bought a different car, had to trade it. And then moving forward, I called her to see if she wanted to purchase a property. She was like, "You're the guy that sold me that rusty car. Don't ever call my phone." So that's not a customer I could convert into a real estate transaction. Do I have some customers that bought some cars with me that have purchased? Yes, but there was no trust that solidified.
So, what's one story in the book that shaped who you are today?
So I talk about my first interview with my sales manager at Toyota. So I dedicate, some of the book to him. But my first real sales moment was that. Sales was always in my life throughout, but just sitting there doing a sales interview, you listen and you see how the sales manager asks you questions, lets you speak first, how their eyes kind of analyze you, like the small little twitches, the little techniques. And so he actually changed my life because he gave me opportunity, and he was always a mentor towards me. He had the Bible on his desk. And so whenever I needed help, he was like a father at the dealership. So just that's probably the story that impacted me the most and put me on this path, being able to see, okay, if I help people, I solve a problem, I get paid for it. I'm not really going by the hour. My time is not committed to a schedule. It's more so, hey, what you solve, what you fix, you get paid for it. And so being able to see that, taste that, it ignited a flame,
You mentioned working at Toyota and CNN. What do those roles teach you about sales psychology?
Yeah. So working at CNN, the news, like I'm not really a political person, but I just know working in that type of industry, it's always a product, it's always a package, it's always a story to push or sell. So you realize that. I remember being a young guy like, hey, I want to tell this story, I want to sell this story. They're like, yeah, I don't know about that. So you have a manager, you have to, there's a hierarchy of what has to be done, right? And so just seeing that and seeing, okay, well, how come there's 3 different news channels at that network, you know? So it's different audiences, different demographics. So that kind of opened my eyes to see, hey, news is sales too, honestly. And then at Toyota, just seeing how people recognize the brand. And Toyota has great credibility. People know about the product, the vehicles. You don't have to sell that too much, but you still have to connect with the person. So I'm focusing more on connecting with people versus trying to sell what this car can do for them and what it includes, because they already knew that. So just seeing that in different, I'll say, lenses and perspectives, it helps give you a broader perspective in general, just about how people get paid and who's buying and who's selling.
How does your spiritual journey tie into business, and why was that important to include?
Yeah, I dedicate everything to God, honestly. If there's a salesperson that tells you this technique or this script will work for you, that's cool and all, but at the end of the day, you have to have faith. You have to have faith. If this deal doesn't close, I'll get the next deal. It's kind of like what your source is, what your battery is. And so when you're serving people, you have to believe that you'll receive a reward. The Bible, for me, actually talks about that. Anyone who knows and reads the Bible can see different verses that I included throughout. So it's just a motivation thing. And sales can be super depressing. Sales can be very like, it doesn't work sometimes, and you can't force it. You can't make anyone buy anything. And so having that faith, saying, hey, God, I did my best today. I didn't manipulate anybody. I wasn't trying to be shady. I didn't take advantage of anyone. So here I am trying to shine my light. And if you do it with that spirit, I talk about that, walking in the spirit, being meek, the fruits, being loving, kind. You may not get a sale today, but in the future, someone might remember you. So if you walk by faith, you'll have less stress. I'm not gonna say you'll be stressed less with no stress at all, but it's just a way to calm your spirit, calm your heart. And not everything is based upon money. So just having that, knowing, hey, I serve, that is valuable. It's the sales job or whatever I'm doing as my business is working on my character and my spirit the same way.
This book isn't just for salespeople. Who else do you think needs to read it?
This is for anyone with a brand, anyone in a relationship. The sales are just a vehicle. I talk about that. Toyota was just a vehicle, a product. Real estate is just a vehicle or product, but you're just solving, you're serving. So anyone who wants to have a better connection with their family, their kids, their spouse, whoever, whatever your brand is, if you're in sports, if you're in news, if you're in media, if you're a chef, it's just about being authentic, connecting with people, and how to get to your destination, your goal, what you feel your purpose in life. Sales is just a vehicle. You want to meet people, you want to solve a problem and get paid for it. So that's what kind of keeps the company moving, keeps the country moving. Sales, if you have no sales, your business is not going to survive. Same thing with life. If you have no money, if you have no harvest, your family can't eat. So as a farmer, you want to water, you want to plant the crops, you want to nurture them, and you want to be able to have a harvest for you and your family. So I think it's for everyone, honestly. That's why I wanted to make it like Value and Trust, keep it simple, keep some quotes in there, keep some verses, make it all inclusive, just to see how all these things can apply.
What's one lesson from the book that people overlook but is actually the key?
Say it again one more time.
What's the one lesson from the book that people overlook but is actually the key?
The key to all this, it's internal before it's external. So you gotta tap inside. You have to like yourself first, you have to value yourself first, and you have to trust yourself first before you can serve someone else. You can't pour from an empty cup. You have to have faith in yourself. You have to know, hey, what I'm doing is the right thing. Even if today I don't have any money. Sales was very sad for me at the beginning. Sometimes you don't have a customer all day if you're on the dealership. Sometimes you do an open house, nobody shows up. You know, sometimes you have a restaurant, no clients. So it's like, how do you keep moving forward with that? When you don't see a specific outcome, you don't see a check in your bank account, how do you keep pushing forward? So that's where it starts, is the internal. I talk about your sphere of influence, just like how it's 7 habits. They talk about that, what's in your control. So don't overlook the internal work. You know, there's a personal battle before there's a public victory. So that's what I want people to really tap into. I put more emphasis on faith and praying and reading and scripture and meditating on that to kind of keep your mind focused on things above and not so much what's going on today directly. So don't overlook, do your internal work. That way you can be the best person and people will want to connect with you. And then they'll trust you and you can sell whatever product, you can fix whatever problem, and you'll be compensated for it. You'll be blessed for it.